Namaste, my yogi friends. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position, your palms on top of your knees, close your eyes. And start breathing a little bit deeper through your nose. On your inhale, your belly is going out, your ribcage expanding, your collarbones lifting up. And on your exhale, your collarbones going down, your ribcage is contracting, your belly is going in. Just a couple of breaths here. Keep your face muscles relaxed, your shoulders away from your ears. And after your exhale, slowly open your eyes. Release your seated position. Put the legs in front of you. Your glutes away from the sit bones, your palms alongside your hips, your toes up, and start moving your feet to the right, forwards, to the left, and upwards. Bigger circles with your feet, warming them up. And change the direction. And release your toes up, squeeze and release your toes. Try to open your toes wider. And slowly release, bend your right leg. Inhale your both arms up. Exhale, grab your foot, lift your foot up. Inhale, your leg is bent. Exhale as straight as possible. And keep your leg up, your elbows bent and opened, your gaze to your right foot, your left foot is flexed, shoulders away from your ears. Try to bring your thigh closer to your belly. And bend your knee, press your knee backwards, your left palm on top of the heel, right on the outer side of your foot, your gaze forwards. Press your knee backwards, your heel, your knee on the same line. Press a little bit more and rotate your shin parallel to your chest. Your right palm is pressing into your thigh and rocking movement from side to side. If it's possible for you to bring your foot in the crease of your left elbow, you can do so and continue your rocking movement. Try to keep your knee, your heel on the same line. Your gaze forwards. Left foot is flexed with the toes up. And stay in the center. And slowly release your leg. You can shake your legs. And bend your left leg. The right foot is flexed. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, grab your foot. Lift your foot up. Inhale, your leg is bent. Exhale, straight. And keep your leg as straight as possible, gaze up, elbows bent, right foot flexed, breathe. Press your knee backwards, your right palm on top of the heel, left on the outer side of your foot, your gaze forwards, breathe. Press a little bit more and rotate your shin parallel to your chest and rocking movement from side to side. Your left palm is pressing into your thigh, your gaze forwards. If it's possible for you, bring your foot in the crease of your right elbow and continue your rocking movement from side to side. And stay in the center. Keep your chest lifted as much as you can. And slowly release. You can shake your legs and slowly stand up. Open your feet, mat width apart. Check that your feet are parallel to each other. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, your palms on the glutes, fingers facing the floor. Press your hips forwards to the right, backwards to the left. Inhale, your hips are going backwards. Exhale, forwards. Gaze parallel to the floor. And change the direction to the left, backwards, to the right and forwards. Release. You're keeping still your feet mat width apart. Your feet still parallel to each other. Inhale your both arms up. Exhale your palms on top of the hips, your elbows in the same plane as your hips. Inhale in the center. With an exhale, you're pushing your hips to the left, bending to the right, and you're covering yourself with your left arm. Your gaze up. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to the left. Push your hips to the right. Gaze up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Gaze up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And the last one, inhale, exhale. Inhale back up. Bring your feet closer. Shoulder width apart, parallel to each other to practice twist. With an inhale, your both arms up, your palms together over your head. Try not to arch your lower back, your tailbone tucked in, your core engaged. Inhale in the center. With an exhale, you twist into the right, your gaze backwards. Inhale back to the center, exhale to the left. And let's do it a little bit faster. Inhale through the nose in the center, exhales to the sides. Try to twist the whole body except for your feet. And the last twist to the left, release. If you feel dizzy, you can bend your knees and forcefully exhale 2 times through the nose. Your feet still shoulder width apart, parallel to each other, your arms in front of you, your fingers widely open, your elbows, shoulder and wrist on the same line. Inhale your fingers up, exhale down. And release. You can shake your arms. Your fingers together, your arms alongside the torso. On your inhale, you're lifting your right shoulder up. On the exhale, your left shoulder. Try not to move your torso. Try just to lift your shoulders up. And release. And let's do the other way around. First your left shoulder, inhale up, right shoulder, exhale. And release. You can shake your arms, your shoulders, your wrists. Your left hand is holding your right wrist, your right hand is in chin mudra, index finger under your thumb. Your feet still shoulder width apart, parallel to each other. On your inhale, chin up to the ceiling. On your exhale, chin towards the chest. And start moving your head to the right, backwards, to the left, and forwards. Inhale, your head is going backwards. Exhale, forwards. 6 times to the right, 6 times to the left. Try not to hurry up. Be very gentle with your neck. And when you're done, just stay with your eyes closed, your arms alongside the torso, and observe how you feel after a short warm up. And slowly open your eyes. And today we're going to practice with the wall. So make sure you have some space at the wall. If you are afraid of ruining the walls, you can always wear socks on. And the first position for today, it will be Tittaliasana or butterfly pose. For this position, you can bring your mat a little bit closer to the wall. And you're just sitting at the wall with your legs in front of you. Check that the glutes are away from the sit bones. Bend your knees and bring your heels closer to your groin. Your back is on the wall. Give yourself a little bit of time. First, you can move your knees and just roll a little bit from side to side. Your palms on top of your thighs, never press into your knees. And first, a couple of movements to warm up. Bring your palms on top of your feet. With an inhale, you're moving your torso to the right, you're pressing your right elbow into your thigh, your left palm is pressing into your left thigh. Your gaze up, try to keep your back on the wall. Inhale back to the center with an exhale to the left, press your right palm into your thigh, your gaze up, keep your back on the wall. And continue, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Press into your thigh. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And the last one to the left. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back up. Maybe you can bring your heels a little bit closer. And just continue pressing into your thighs. Just rest your palms. Try not to push too hard. Your back is on the wall. Relax your shoulders. We're gonna stay here for a couple of minutes. You can keep your eyes closed or open and just focus on your breath. And just allow your knees reach the floor. Try not to contract your inner thighs. Just breathe. Your back is on the wall, your shoulders away from your ears, your chin slightly towards the chest, your neck is nice and long. Breathe. Butterfly pose, Tittaliasana or Vrikchasana. It's a hip opener. Just a couple of breaths here. Just slightly press into your thighs. Allow yourself to melt into the pose. Try not to resist, just surrender. Three more breaths. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper with your knees. And slowly start bringing your knees together. You can keep your back on the wall. Hug your shins and bring your forehead on top of your knees. You can round your back. And slowly release. And for the next position, you might need some cushioning under your knee. I have an extra mat It can be a pillow, it can be a towel, a blanket. Just make sure that you put your blanket or your extra mat closer to the wall so that it will be more comfortable for your knee. So the next pose will be equestrian pose, Ashvasanchalanasana with the wall. Your right knee will be in front of you, your left is on the wall. Your left shin up, your right leg is bent, your knee over the ankle. Make sure that your back shin is not falling to the side, that your heel is on the same line as your knee. If you need to bring extra blocks under your palms, you can do so. You can put your blocks the way that your fingers, your toes on the same line. We're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Just make sure that your right knee over the ankle, that your back shin is vertically on the wall and your gaze forwards. We're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. The goal is to bring your pelvis down and forwards. First, just get used to the pose. If you don't need your blocks, you can just bring the palms on the floor. You can keep your eyes closed or open. You might observe a lot of sensations either in your left quad or maybe in your right thigh. Just send your breaths to those parts of the body. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can lift your torso up and bring your palms on your thigh, but you're not bringing your pelvis down and closer to the wall. You're trying to stay where you are as low as possible. Your chest is lifted. Right now, maybe you observe a little bit more sensations in your left quad. It's totally fine. You can also go back to the previous variations with the palms on the blocks or on the floor. Ashvasanchalanasana equestrian pose, just for a couple of breaths here. Pelvis down and forwards. If you don't have contraindications such as periods and pregnancies, you can contract your pelvic floor muscles here. Three more breaths, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And slowly bring your palms to the floor. Release your legs, bring your knees together, move slightly away from the wall, your wrist under the shoulders, and start moving your hips from side to side. Squeeze your inner thighs. And let's do the other side. This time your right knee is on the wall. Again, make sure it's comfortable for your knee. Your shin is vertical, your toes up. Your left leg bent with the knee ankle on the same line. And again, you can use your blocks. Make sure that your toes and your fingers on the same line and your gaze forwards. First, we're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. If you don't need your blocks, just put them away. Right now, you might observe a lot of sensations in your right quad. Pelvis down and forwards. Keep your eyes closed or open. And you can stay here, or you can go a little bit deeper by lifting your torso up, your palms over your knee. You're still trying to bring your pelvis down and forwards. Make sure that your back shin is still on the wall and your shin hasn't moved neither to the left nor to the right. Gaze forwards. You can also use Ujjayi breath when you create constriction in your throat, as if you're trying to sip water through a very thin straw. It sounds like a snore at a basic level. It will help you to release stress and to calm your mind down. Just a couple of breaths here. Three more breaths, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And slowly bring the palms back to the floor. Release your legs, move slightly away from the wall, your knees together, your wrist on the shoulders, and just move your hips from side to side. Move your hips from side to side. And slowly stay in the center, push your hips to your heels, walk with your palms forward, stretch your gaze towards the floor. And bring your arms alongside the torso, your head on the floor, Balasana, child's pose. And slowly lift your torso back up. And the next pose will be parvatasana or mountain pose with one leg on the wall. If you prefer to wear socks, you can do so, but it might be a little bit slippery. So for the next one, we need to bring our mat with the short side to the wall. Make sure your mat is touching the wall. And your toes touching the wall right now, and you are in your Vajrasana pose. So your knees together, your heels up, your glutes on top of your heels, your palms on top of your thighs. Diamond pose, Vajrasana. With an inhale, your both arms up. With an exhale, forward folds. Push your hips backwards, walk with your palms forward, stretch. Your gaze forward, lift your hips up, curl the toes. Lift your knees up and bring your heels to the wall. Shift the weight to your feet. Try not to arch your lower back. Your chin slightly towards the chest. Your neck is nice and long. Breathe. And from here, lift your right leg up. First, your toes on the wall. First, stay here. And afterwards, just bring the top of your foot on the wall. And we're gonna stay here. Try to square your hips, your right thigh more down. Breathe. And you can stay here, or you can start walking with your palms towards the wall as close as you can to a leg split variation. So give yourself a little bit of time. Press your palms into the mat. Try to keep both legs as straight as possible. Open up your shoulders. Chin towards the chest. Try not to contract your neck. Just a couple of breaths here. Three more breaths, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And start slowly walking with your palms away. Bring your foot down, bring your knees to the mat, push your hips to your heels, walk with your palms forward, stretch. Elongating your spine. Your shoulder blades away from each other. And let's do the other side. Your gaze forward, lift your hips up, curl the toes and bring your heels to the wall. Your feet together, your palms shoulder width apart. And this time lift your left leg up. First your toes touching the wall. Square your hips, your left thigh towards the floor. Bring the top of your foot to the wall and you can stay here, or you can start slowly walking with your palms as close to the wall as possible. Try to keep your hips squared. Keep your legs as straight as possible. Breathe. We're not gonna stay here for a long time. Chin towards the chest, neck nice. Three more breaths. Slowly start walking away from the wall. Bring your foot down, your knees to your mat, push your hips back, walk with your palms forward, stretch. And bring your arms along the torso, your head on the floor. Parvatasana, child's pose. You can just move a little bit from side to side, or just stay without any movements. And just the center. And slowly lift your torso back up. And for the next position, it will be a back bend. You might just first take a look and afterwards try it on your own. It will be Salabhasana or locust pose. It's a pretty advanced position and it's very difficult to do it without the wall. So make sure you don't have any chains, any rings, any bracelets on your wrist because it might hurt. For this position, you need to interlace the fingers except for the thumbs, and you need to hide your arms under your torso as if this is your base. You need to press your arms into the mat to help yourself to lift your legs up. But our wall here will be our assistant. So first just take a look how to enter the pose. You need again to bring your knees to the wall. Open up your knees wider, maybe even wider than your mat. And make sure your pelvis, your glutes also touching the wall or as close to the wall as possible. And you need to interlace the fingers except for the thumbs and bring these interlaced fingers to the wall. Probably I will need to take off my microphone and put it separate. Just make sure your interlaced fingers touch on the wall right now. Hide your arms under your torso, bring your shoulders closer to each other. And through one side, lift one leg up and the other one. If it's not comfortable for your lower back, just go to a regular Sphinx pose. Press your arms into the mat. Engage your glutes. Just a couple of breaths here. And slowly, one knee back through the side and the other one. Press yourself away from the wall. Bring palm on top of the palm. And just move your hips from side to side. Just move your hips from side to side. And slowly drop your legs to the side. Press yourself away from the wall. And go to the tabletop. When your wrist under the shoulders, your knees under your hips. Inhale, arch, gaze up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch, gaze up. Exhale, round. Gaze to your navel. And one more time. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Push your hips to your heels. Your palms forward, stretch. And bring your arms alongside the torso, your head on the floor. Slowly lift your torso back up. And the next one, it will be Matsyendrasana or sit twist. So for this position, you make sure that you are closer to the wall with your right side, maybe even your right hip touching the wall, your feet are flexed, your toes up. Bend your right leg, your right ankle closer to your knee, and cross your left knee with your right foot. Make sure your right knee is in the center of your chest. Your left leg hasn't moved to the wall, it stays where it was. The toes of your left foot up. With an inhale, your both arms up. With an exhale, you start twisting towards the wall and bring your left armpit closer to your knee. Bring your left palm on the wall and your right palm on the floor behind you. If you cannot reach the floor, you can put your block or a book under your palm and your gaze backwards. Your chin towards the back shoulder. Breathe. Use the wall here as a lever to press yourself to twist a little bit deeper. You can keep your eyes closed or open. Try to twist the way that your shoulders are on the same line. Try not to forget about your left leg, your toes up. Your left leg is also active during the twist. Just a couple of breaths here. Maybe you can twist a little bit deeper. Use the strength of your left arm. Press your left palm into the wall. But keep your chest lifted, your torso vertical. And slowly you gaze back to the center, your both arms up. Inhale. With an exhale, the twist to the left. Inhale, back up, your both arms up. With an exhale, release your right leg. And just turn to the other side. This time your left hip is touching the wall. Your legs together. Bend your left leg and cross your right knee with your left foot. Your right leg with the toes up. Your left knee in the center of your chest. Inhale, your both arms up, stretch up. With an exhale, you're twisting towards the wall. And this time, your right armpit closer to your knee. Your right hand on the wall, your left behind your pelvis, you gaze backwards. You can also use a block or a book. Try to twist a little bit deeper so that your shoulders on the same line. Just a couple here. And slowly bring your torso back to the center, your both arms up, inhale. With an exhale, the twist to the right, your gaze backwards. Inhale, back up. With an exhale, release. Move slightly away from the wall. Open your feet wider. Your palms behind you also wider. Just relax your feet here. Keep your chest lifted. If your neck is okay, you can drop your head backwards. If not, keep your chin towards the chest. Vrikchasana, restorative position after seated twist. And slowly release. And very slowly stand up to practice a balance. And for today it will be a leg balance Chandrasana, and with the wall it's very comfortable to practice this pose. Open your feet, about a meter between your feet. Make sure you have some space. And just rotate your left foot by 90 degrees angle, your right foot by 45. Your left foot will be the standing foot and your left palm with the fingertips touching the floor. Make sure that your palm is on the same line as your foot. It hasn't moved neither to the left nor to the right, it's just on the same line in front of the foot. And technically this palm will be just under your head. Keep your right palm on top of your hip. With an inhale, lift your back leg up. Your foot can be flexed or pointed, and try to lift your chest up and bring your right glute towards the wall. Your gaze up and your right arm up. You can make chin mudra when your index finger under your thumb. And try to bring both shoulders to the wall, both glutes to the wall. Glute on top of the glute, shoulder on top of the shoulder. Try to keep your back leg relatively parallel to the floor. And just observe how the wall is helping you here. Just a couple of breaths here. Your gaze up. Try to rotate your chest a little bit more up. Three more breaths. And slowly bring the palm on your hip and slowly release. Your feet again parallel to each other. And this time your right foot is rotated at 90 degrees. Your left is at 45. This time your right palm will be on the same line as your foot. There is a little bit of space between your foot and the wall. Bring your right palm to the floor, your left on top of the hip, lifts your back leg up, your feet can be flexed or pointed, and start rotating your chest. The next step, your left arm up, you can make chin mudra when your index finger under your thumb. And try to bring both glutes, both shoulders towards the wall. Gaze up, breathe. Just a couple of breaths here. Three more breaths. And slowly release. Bring your feet a little bit closer, your arms alongside the torso, keep your eyes closed. And just observe how you feel. Go back to a normal breath. And slowly open up your eyes. And for inverted positions, it will be a handstand, but just a half of a handstand. If you have contraindications such as periods, problems with your wrist, you can just bring your legs to the wall, your hips to the wall, your feet flexed, and just keep your arms in a cactus pose, and that will be your variation of inverted position for today. Otherwise, for the half of the handstand, you need to make sure that you're creating 90 degrees angle with your legs and your torso. So you are not creating a plank position, but 90 degrees. So to do that, you really need to measure the distance by bringing your foot to the wall. Your leg is relatively parallel. And this is where you need to turn around. Your feet together, you're opening your palms shoulder width apart. Your palms to the mat. You're lifting your legs up. And instead of keeping your legs up, you're just walking down until you feel that your heels and your glutes on the same line. Push your hips a little bit backwards, your torso a little bit backwards. And you can stay here, or you can lift one leg up. Try not to kick your leg backwards. And first stay here. And switch your right foot to the wall, your left foot up. Try to keep your left heel over your left glute. And slowly release, stay here. Press your torso backwards. Three more breaths. And slowly release and go to the child's pose. Your knees together, your arms alongside the torso. And slowly lift your torso back up. If you feel that you need to do that, you can squeeze and release your right wrist with your left hand. And the same for your left wrist, squeeze and release. And let's do our final resting pose, Shavasana. You can put your mat slightly away from the wall. You can cover yourself with a blanket to make it a little bit more comfortable. And you're just staying on your back, your palms facing the ceiling, your arms alongside the torso, your feet hip width apart or wider. You can make deep inhale and exhale through your mouth. And just start focusing on your breath. Shavasana, final resting pose. And you can stay where you are, or start moving your fingers and toes. Go to a deeper breath. Bend your right leg and turn to the left side. And stay on the side with your eyes closed. And by pressing your upper palm into the mat, go back to your seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Your palms on top of your knees, your shoulders away from your ears, and just observe how your body feels, how your mind feels. And start rubbing your palms to make them warm. And put your palms on top of your eyes and softly open your eyes into your palms, putting the palms away from your face. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and see you next time.